Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, first, let me begin by saying thank you to both of you for your service to our country. Let me also thank your families for their participation as well. General Townsend, while Russia and China are aggressively expanding their physical footprint in Africa, I'm concerned with their even more aggressive and nefarious activity in cyberspace. Can you discuss how Russia and China have used cyber to advance their objectives in your AOR and how your team is combating the threat?
Senator, I'll be able to go into more detail in a closed session, but I can say this about Russia. Russia, and you're familiar with the oligarch Prigozhin. He has troll farms. He invests in troll farms in Africa, and a number of those were involved in election interference globally, to include our country, and that's continuing. We're seeing that continue with China, not as much, and I can probably go into more detail in closed session.
Thank you, sir. Also, I think Senator Inhofe hit on this, but I would like to reemphasize the challenges in the Sahrawi region, in South Sahara regions, where you have challenges where literally you've got 40,000 people that have been displaced out of their homeland, awaiting for a UN resolution or at least some sort of an opportunity for independence. And most certainly Morocco is right in the middle of it. And it seems to me that I think what Senator Inhofe has indicated is the fear that in the future, if we are not observant to the real problems that have developed there, that we're going to have a hotbed there, and it's going to be one that will not go away, and we're going to wonder why we suddenly have extremists developing in that region, recognizing, though, for the last 40 years they have been displaced from their homeland, and the rest of the world has done nothing to try to resolve the situation. I know that it's an area that you're aware of. Do you have any comments on what's going on right now in that region?
Senator, I think primarily this is a diplomatic or political problem, less a military one, but for all the things that you just mentioned, I agree with, and we are watching it.
If it's not fixed diplomatically, I fear that it will become a problem for the military. General McKenzie, I really think, along with a lot of us here, that the way that we left Afghanistan on a date certain put our military men and women in a very precarious position, and that it was not the correct way to leave Afghanistan. We believe that it was reckless, haphazard, and it endangered the lives of our servicemen and women. Our deeds helped to reshape the current worldwide operational environment, where our adversaries have been emboldened to take greater risks in challenging our national security. We also broke faith with many Afghans who directly supported U.S. forces. These brave Afghans are eligible for special immigrant visas, or SIVs, yet they're trapped and have been threatened in Afghanistan. The Washington Post has reported that Qatar Airways has been chartering 1 to 2 U.S. government flights from Kabul every week from August to December. These flights briefly stopped, then resumed after the new year began. One of the SIV applicants who my office has assisted for the last 8 months just recently was able to get out of Kabul, in fact, just this week, but he was forced to take a rather adventurous and long roundabout way through a third country in order to get out. Can you tell me, General, who specifically has been on these weekly flights and whether they are the Afghans who risk their lives to help our service members?
Senator, our responsibility in this matter is to support the Department of State by providing lily pads at Camp Asaliya in Qatar. When people come out of Afghanistan, we process them, we make sure they're physically fit, we do all the things to move them on to their final destination, whether that's the United States or another country, the State Department's call, not our call. But we are fully committed to assisting in that. The same thing in UAE, where there's a facility that is not really run by the United States, but rather by our UAE partners. As to your question about who's coming out, who's on the flights that Qatar Airways is running out every couple of weeks, I believe they are largely SIV applicants. But, Senator, I am actually not in minute-to-minute command of that information. You know, that is actually run by the Department of State. We support logistically, but those decisions fall all within the Department of State. I'll simply close by saying we have the capability to support this effort, systems and procedures in place well into the future.
Thank you. And once again, thank you to both of you for your service to our country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Round. Senator Manchin.